Achieving your goals, following your dreams, starting a business or building an institution involves considerable risk. Risk that you won't be able to pay your bills. Risk that you'll fail to create something sustainable. Risk that your own people will not support you. Yet, in spite of those risks, we must have the strength to press forward towards our collective and individual goals. Harriet Tubman represents one of our greatest ancestors who refused to let potential risks stop her. However, many of us fail to take risks for 5 important reasons. Number 1, embarrassment. Too often African people fail to create the necessary institutions, businesses, programs, or follow their own purpose for fear that they'll fail and look bad in their communities. And that's certainly possible. But so what? We only answer to the Creator, our ancestors, our children, and the unborn. Plus, failures and mistakes only help us grow. It only helps us learn. Babies fall many times in their effort to walk. Those shaky steps forward help the baby develop the physical and mental ability to walk upright. We must take those steps towards our dream no matter how we look. Millions of Africans took the risk to run away from the plantation when they knew that there was a possibility they would be caught and brought back in chains and experience embarrassment. Yet they took to the bush anyway, because they understood that any place was better than the plantation. Any place you are going is better than staying in a place where you do not want to be. Walk towards your goals. Take those baby steps if you must. Another reason is rationalization or excuses. We rationalize and second guess ourselves constantly. We rationalize that we can't start a business because our people feel the white man's ice is colder and his sugar is sweeter. Well, we ain't selling ice and we ain't selling sugar, so let's sell some ice and sell some sugar and see what happens. And sometimes we rationalize that our situation is not as bad as it seems. If we could only vote the right person in office, things would be all right. If our children only accepted the miseducation doled out by the public school system quietly, things would be all right. Or we say things like, I have been in this company for 5, 10, 20 years and they're not going to fire me. Things are all right. But listen, we cannot pass on a job to our children. And we must stop procrastinating and ducking our responsibilities to our communities. It is said that if something is important to you, you'll find a way. If it is not, you'll find an excuse. Another reason why we don't go towards our goals and we don't take a risk is the unrealistic expectation. The unrealistic expectation that things will be easy. Look, nothing of worth is easy. But many of us turn and run in the opposite way when an obstacle appears. Too many of us want our fight for liberation, our fight for self-determination, our fight towards our dreams to be comfortable, and that's an unrealistic expectation. Life is hard, especially for African people. But the rougher the water, the stronger the swimmer. Go into the process of building for our people with the understanding that it will be tough, and most folks won't help. Most folks will say it can't be done. Most folks will tell you that you're wasting your time, because if people can't see it for themselves, they usually can't see it for you. And if they don't help, the simple solution is this. If there's no wind, then row. If your ship does not come in, then swim out to it. It is your responsibility and no one else's. Life is difficult, but it'll be all right. Another reason is we think everything must be fair. I often hear people complaining that we shouldn't have to build our own schools. That's an unfair burden that we have. And some people say it's unfair because I don't have a high school diploma. It's unfair because I didn't grow up in the right communities, or I had a baby at a young age, or I just got divorced, or I have to go to work and go to school at the same time. Well, here's the news. Life is unfair. Langston Hughes told you a long time ago that life for me ain't been no crystal stair, right? There will be obstacles and pain and shapes and walls, but the walls are only there to see how bad you want it. How bad do you want it? Because if you want it bad enough, you'll get it. And fair or not, you are the driver of your life. Where are you going? Our enslavement here in America, it was the epitome of injustice, the epitome of unfairness. But given that unfair circumstance, millions of our ancestors took the necessary risk to find freedom. So what's stopping you? Maybe you're waiting for the perfect time. Some of us wait for this mythical perfect time to move towards solving our collective problems or going for our dreams. This procrastination achieves nothing. As a justification for our inactivity, sometimes we say, well, I'm just being cautious. And caution certainly has its place, but the truth is that there's a point when caution becomes cowardice. I mean, Mama Harriet Tubman exhibited caution too, but she did not let her caution lead her to idleness. She knew that any time was freedom time. She knew that there was no ideal time to begin her journey towards emancipation. She understood that if she waits for the perfect time, she'll wait forever. And we don't have forever. And someone once said that there are risks and costs to a program of action, any program of action, but they are far less than the long-range risk and cost of comfortable inaction. Stop waiting for all the lights to be green before you take those steps. Stop waiting for that perfect time. This is the best time and the worst time. Go for it. Do it now. Go change your career now, right? Start reading those books now. Start that business now. Go for your goal and go for your dreams now. Do it now. Don't let any of these reasons keep you from achieving your goals or establishing those vital institutions for our community that we may need, or that we may know we need, or may not know we need. Decide whether or not the goal is worth the risk involved. If it is, stop worrying and start doing it. Join the other Africans across the country who are taking the risk to follow their dreams, right? To develop young African warrior scholars who are laying the foundation for generations yet to come. No matter if you will be embarrassed, who cares? No matter if it's unfair, who cares? No matter if it's not the so-called perfect time, who cares? Go for your dream. It is there. Take a risk and win for our people. Revolutionary love.